Those of you who've listened to my videos before know that in my line of work, in my life, I run into a lot of people and I deal with a lot of people that are in very high net worth position. People that have money to do whatever they want to do. And you also know from what I've told you before that my friends range from a struggling taxi driver to a person who owns companies with branches all over the world, 25,000 employees. You get the idea. They've got money to do whatever they want to do. Well, one of them, who's a Canadian gentleman, very well off, he told me one day, I see him sometimes when I go and have breakfast in the market. There's a market here that, in one of the cities that I frequent, there's a market that has cooked food. So I go there to have breakfast. And he always asks me, so where are you going next? Because he knows I travel around the world all the time. He says, what's your next trip? Where are you going next? And he said, I really envy your lifestyle. I wish I had the freedom that you do. My wife doesn't want to go anywhere. She always wants to stay home, and wherever I'm out, like right now having breakfast here with you, after 10 minutes she calls me, says, when are you coming home? Whatever. And I really saw the sadness in his eyes, where he's worked all his life, he's made all the money, he's a success, but he cannot use it. Now you tell me, what is the difference between that guy and a guy who's penniless? Okay, he's got a big, huge $5 million home with 7 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms and, huge yard and everything. He says his water bill is several $100, $900 or something every month. He's got that the poor guy doesn't. But if you don't have your freedom, if you don't have the ability to do whatever you want to do as often as you want to do it, whenever you want to do it, then what good is that money? And I saw that in his eyes, and I told him, you could buy my whole life with one check. He says, yeah, but what am I going to do? And I understand what he says. If he was to get rid of his wife, that means immediately, financially speaking, let's not even talk about uprooting the life that he has. Financially speaking, that about 65% of his life is gone. First of all, he has to move out of the house immediately. And it goes down from there. I'm sure you guys also know people in that situation, maybe not as rich or maybe richer, but with the same level of freedom. I have another friend who I may have spoken about him before, who just recently, 2 years ago, sold, his company got bought, his high-tech company got bought, and he ran into a lot of money. And we were having breakfast together, and his wife was there, but his wife excused herself to go and make an doctor's appointment for her mother. And I told him, what's your typical day like? He told me, since I sold the company, you won't believe it, but I've been working all my life. He used to be my boss. He says, I've been working all my life, making quotas, making money, doing things to make the ends meet, whatever, paying bills, work struggles, whatever. And now it's really difficult to get used to doing nothing. When you wake up in the morning and you have money in the bank, and I know a lot of you are probably saying that, wow, that's a nice problem to have. But he said, it really gets used to it, not having anything to do. Not having any goals, not having anything on the horizon that you're hoping it would work out, whatever, everything is already done. It's a beautiful place to be, But he told me that also, he says, I'm married. And he looked in my eyes and he says, you have no idea how hard it is. And I knew exactly what he meant. I'm not going to say he doesn't love his wife, because they've been together a long time from a young age. I think they were college sweethearts, whatever. But he told me, you have no idea how hard it is. And I could see exactly what he was talking about. He was talking about not having the ability to say, you know what, I want to go traveling for 3 months and do whatever the hell I want to do with any woman, at any time, go to bed when I want, wake up when I want, not get out of my bed all day, whatever. But you cannot do that when you are in a married situation. You cannot do that. And if you want to break, and some people do break, I mean, look at this jerk, Bill Gates, others who are very, very, very wealthy, and they decide to say, they decide one day, the heck with it. I'll give away $45 billion of my money for my freedom. And some of them do it, but others they just can't, and they just suffer. They suffer, as I heard Joe Rogan say one time, a life of quiet desperation. And believe me, you can have a life of quiet desperation in all levels of socioeconomic, status. So there is no perfect situation. There is the point of this video that I wanted to get across was these friends of mine who have all the money in the world, but they have no freedom. And their life is not sweet. Their life is not happy. Yes, they have food in their belly and they have a warm place to sleep, but they cannot do the things that they really want to do in life. Tell me if that's worth it. Tell me if that's a fair exchange to make. And they envy me because I can travel and go wherever I want, whenever I want, no one to answer to. So I've lived the miserable married life vicariously through these people. And I've never had any desire to get married, even though my own siblings got married and they're both divorced. I just don't see the benefit. And especially, not at the risk of repeating myself 1,001 times, especially given the divorce laws in the West and other countries that happen to have these atrocious, one-sided divorce laws where everything is on the side of the woman automatically, then it's absolute madness to get married if you have any net worth talking about. I hope this talk has been helpful to you. My sole purpose, as I always say, is to share what I've learned with others so that they can have a better quality of life. And I share with others so they can sit down with themselves when they're alone. And you all need alone time every day. It is absolutely 100% necessary. Sit with yourself and ask yourself what it is that is most important to me, and never forgo that. Never forgo that for anyone. You owe that to yourself, because you must be happy and fulfilled yourself before you can make anyone else happy. If your happiness is a married life with 8 kids, more power to you. God be with you. Do that. There is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that, and everything is right with that. But as long as it is something that you want, not something that's forced onto you and you're trapped and you can't get out of. All the best till the next video.